Welcome back to the channel, guys. I'm Peter, Mokray, Dallas-based DP, and today we're going to be stopping by two big box stores. We have a regular one here, and then we'll be stopping by a home improvement store. Now, a lot of people do their shopping online, but sometimes you don't have time, or you may forget something and need it last minute. So I'm going to show you some of my favorite things I get from this store right here and from the home improvement store, and some of them may surprise you. Let's get into it. All right, my favorite thing is these Zeiss wipes. They come in a 100 pack, and then also there is a pack of 325. I use these to clean my lenses. They're one-time use, and I toss them out. This right here is moleskin. I use it for audio, so you put it on your microphone, your lavalier, so you don't get rubbing like on shirts and things like that. It's really inexpensive. It's fuzzy on one side and sticky on the other side. If you want to improve your lighting, well, at least on the subject, sometimes they can be a little oily and have a little sheen to them. So I like to use these oil absorbing wipes for all my interviews and anytime I have talent that doesn't want to wear makeup. Oftentimes on set, you have no control over the windows or maybe limited control. Sometimes you have to have a window that's in the shot. So I like to keep a few of these shears on my van, on my truck at all times. And what I can do is I could actually just hang them right there in front of the window to cut down the intensity of light and soften the light, or use them as diffusion with my own lights. And they even make blackouts. So you could actually just black out the window completely and have no light come in at all. Tennis balls. So what do I use them for? I use them for the bottom of stands so I don't scratch up floors and really put damage on the floors like hardwood, tile. Also, I use them on the end of like gobo arms, anything where you could poke an eye out. I actually have a video of how I set these up. I'll link it down below. Shower curtains. You won't believe how great this diffusion is. So right here, when you get the stuff that's more clear, more light's gonna come through. Or you can get stuff like this, which is a little bit thicker, and it's a white frosty shower liner. What's really great about these is they already have grommets on them, so you can actually hang them from stuff. So it's almost like a high-end diffusion, all for under 10 bucks. Lint rollers are a must on set. Whenever your talent comes in covered in dog hair or their own hair, it's good to give them a good cleaning before their interview or before they go in front of the camera for the narrative piece. This stuff is amazing. It's called foam core, and what I use it for, I use it as a bounce like this, or you can use it as a negative. Now what's really cool is you could combine them both and you'll have a neg on one side and a bounce on the other side. And don't worry, they come in many different sizes, so you could go a lot bigger. This stuff is better purchased locally because you're not paying so much for shipping something so big. All right, so here we're in the fabric section, and we have bleached and unbleached muslin, which is really great. This is commonly used on sets, and it is great stuff. If you want to warm things up, go with the unbleached. If you want to keep it clean and white, go with the bleached muslin. Now, what's also great in the fabric section is there's a ton of other options you could try out, and you get to buy this stuff by the yard, so it's really inexpensive. Dryer sheets, what are they good for? If your talent has staticky clothes or if they have flyaways and staticky hair, this stuff is great. I always go with the fragrance-free, dye-free. Before we dive into my second favorite store, always behind a camera store, I want you to tell me what useful things you have found at your local box stores. Let me know down in the comments. Now, if you don't have access to a box store like this in your area, I will list out all the things we find today in the description for you to find it online. Let's get into it. Let's talk about bounces. So now we have a big reflector right here. This is a piece of insulation foam. What I usually do is I cut it in half, and then the front side is shiny, and then when you flip it over onto the back side, this is just a sticker. You peel it off and it's white. So now you can make two bounces, or you can make a real thick one that's a lot stronger in the wind. If you're a viewer of the channel, you know I love storage. So let's talk about what a coffin is. So you get a Rubbermaid tub or a big plastic container tote like this. And what you do is you grab a packing blanket, or we call them Fernie pads. It's good to have these on set as well, because if they're black on one side, they could work as a negative. You get a couple of them, you stuff them in here, kind of make a little pocket, a little nest. Then you get your camera fully assembled and you set it inside of there. And now you're ready to go, and you've created a coffin. So when you're moving from one location to another, your camera is padded and cushioned, but you don't have to break it apart to make it work. Now, another thing that I like to get is these little totes right here. And if you've watched the channel, again, I made a really cool video about it. They're the Husky containers. They have a water seal on them. They're IP65 rated, which is really great. And they stack. They're amazing. I love them. They're a really good deal. These little 6-quart containers are also amazing. They usually sell out really fast. So if you see them, get them. They're really good for cables, odds and ends, little things that you want to carry around. And they're very inexpensive. I think they're going for $2.50 right now. Safety is big on set, so a lot of times when you have stingers running, cables, cords, whatever, and you don't have the opportunity to tape everything down, sometimes just grabbing something like this, a nice rubber doormat, and you just drop it right on top of the cables and you make a nice pathway for people to walk. If I need to spike a camera or talent or make a mark or even attach something to the wall or floor, I use painter's tape. It's a lot cheaper. You get 9 rolls of this for the price of 1.5 rolls of gaff tape, and gaff tape oftentimes will peel paint and cause a lot of damage. Now, another thing that I like to use in the paint section is a paintbrush. This will save your camera gear. When it's dusty and dirty, you can just knock away that dust and dirt with a cheap paintbrush. Stingers, something important to pay attention to is they look cool, they're black, you may think they're heavy duty, all are not created equal. So these are 16 gauge and they can carry 13 amps. Now the gauge number is important because the bigger the number, the thinner the wire, meaning it can carry less electricity. These are 14 gauge, so these are a little bit stronger. Now if you want to get into 12 gauge or anything bigger than that, you could always make your own, and making your own is very inexpensive. You buy a coil of the wire, you cut it to the length you want. You could have it 5 feet, 10 feet, 50 feet, 100 feet, or a full 300 feet. You just add the connectors to each end and you have your own homemade stingers at a fraction of the price. All right, I'll tell them about it. Gosh. All right, so what are these? These are triple taps. What you can do is you could turn your one stinger into 3 outlets. Now what you want to watch out for is you don't want to overload it. And one of the big mistakes people make is hooking up multiple lights to a power strip like this. And that's a big no-no because it is a fire hazard. These clamps are a must on set. They're very inexpensive. They're 99 cents each. Get a dozen of them, keep them on hand, and get them in as many sizes as you can. This right here is a multi-tool. They're amazing. If you need a knife, if you need a screwdriver, if you need pliers, whatever you may need, these work amazing. Now what's really cool about these things is they have a really cool magic trick and they grow legs and walk away. So make sure you label them and get them back from who you loan them out to. Creativity and ingenuity are a core part of what we do. It's not a one size fits all for everyone. So next time you're in a hardware store or you're in your big box store and you see something and it gives you an idea, jump on it, move on it, and make it happen. I do a lot of DIY projects on my own and they become great solutions for my workflow. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate every single one of you. If you really like what you're watching, give us a sub and maybe comment, like, do all those other things. And also, YouTube says click this here, maybe click this here. I don't know what they're talking about, but they're really smart people. Thank you so much, and I'll see you on the next one. Babe, you're too late. Dryer sheets.